Do you remember the first time you heard the word cocooning? I want you to imagine that Constantine, to my left, is my aunt, and I, her niece. We are cocooning together. Brian, over here on my right, will act as narrator.
And Monica calls loudly from the sitting room.
Helen, can you help me?
Dropping everything, Helen rushes to the front room, expecting her aunt to have fallen.
The cat's on my lap. Could you pour me a small Jameson?
This exchange was shared by tweet by Helen O'Rahilly, a former BBC executive who was from Ireland but lived in England for many years, and who was cocooning with her 90-year-old Aunt Monica in Rush in County Dublin. Helen's tweets during lockdown and fascinated and enchanted hordes of people. Posted under the hashtag StairLiftAscends, all the tweets are now published in a book called The Stairlight Ascends, Tweets from a COVID Cocoon. On November 28, 2020, in a newspaper, I spotted a beautiful picture of Monica sitting in her stair lift with Helen standing alongside her. The newspaper article was titled An Unlikely Ascension. The disciples of Jesus would have not expected Jesus' ascension. Their breath would have been blown away as he was lifted up while they looked on and a cloud took him from their sight. The ascension is crucial, if often overlooked, when we look at the work of Christ. The ascension, when understood, becomes an irreplaceable, important resource for living out our lives in the world. While the poet John Donne once wrote that death is an ascension to a better library, and Monica might have remarked, death is an ascension into a better Arnott's. Our faith teaches us that at his ascension, Jesus entered heaven and he keeps the door open for humanity to enter. On April 12th, 2021, Helen posted the following tweet. Hours of cleaning and clearing the aunt's house today. As I traipsed up and down the stairs all day, I finally noticed the imprint of the newly removed stair lift supports in the carpet. It did a fine job and it left its mark. Earlier, on April 9th, Helen had tweeted, the stair lift removed. Thanks to BM Stairlifts for trusty service for so many years, the house will not be the same. On another day, O'Brien's Press, the publishers of Helen's book, had sent a beautiful card to Helen with the poignant message, the stairlift has made its last ascent. Sadly, towards the end of March, Monica, a spirited and independent woman, had died. The Ascension tells us that our destiny is upwards. But that spiritual vision does not remove us from the world. The Ascension also tells us that our mission here on earth is outwards. It actually sends us out to the latest and the last. By staying wedded to our humanity, Jesus affirms that he is still concerned about the flesh and blood of humans in the world. he did not drop our humanity from himself, nor has he fled his love for the world, for which he gave his life. To live daily from the ascended Christ is to live constantly for others, sharing in his mission to humanity. The story of Helen and Monica captures for me the beauty of the message that flows from the Ascension. The image of the stair lift ascending upwards for rest and downwards so that Monica could go outwards towards relationship and love reveals the insight that permeates the Ascension. The Ascension is absolutely vital to our hope and to our mission. Jesus is still in skin. He has not dropped us. And so we may enter into our service in this world with a joy and optimism that is well grounded and expressed with eternal hope. On April 2nd, Helen tweeted, "All I wanted was to take the aunt out to Arnott's this summer. She was so desperate to get the vaccine, so it would free her up to do just that. She loved the brows. It was not to be. Glad we had the chance last summer. Each moment is precious. Remember that." In the last few days, Helen tweeted, "At the Rush house today in Dublin, doing a final clear out. Knock on the door. A woman with a still hot rhubarb crumble and pot of custard. I only heard about your aunt's passing last week and I saw your car in the driveway. Only in Ireland." For some, rhubarb is a sort of bloodshot celery. More interestingly, it is often observed that the rhubarb that no one picks goes to seed. From the stairlift to the tweets, to Arnott's, and to the rhubarb crumble, thank you to Helen for sharing with us your delightful Aunt Monica, and in your storytelling, helping us to grasp the mystery of the Ascension. We trust that Monica is enjoying the brows in her new abode. Amen.